So, have you ever stopped to think about where your photos, your documents, all your favorite songs actually go when you save them? It's not magic, it's the cloud. And in this explainer, we're going to demystify cloud storage. We're talking about the invisible backbone of our entire digital world. We'll break down what it is, how it works, and most importantly, why getting it right is so crucial.
I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. Every single photo you snap, every document you type up, every song you stream, it all adds up to this mountain of data. But where does it all go? It can't just vanish into thin air, right? It has to live somewhere it can be accessed from anywhere at any time. And that somewhere, well, that's the cloud.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down exactly what cloud storage is. Then, we're diving into the 3 core types that pretty much everything is built on. After that, we get to peek behind the curtain at how giants like Microsoft and Google actually use these building blocks. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together to power the apps and services you and I use every single day.
Okay, let's jump right in. Section 1. What exactly are we talking about when we say cloud storage?
At its heart, it's a really simple idea. Instead of saving all your files to your own computer's hard drive, you're basically storing them on someone else's super powerful computers, all connected to the internet. Think of it like a digital self-storage unit. You just rent the space, and a provider like Microsoft, Google, or Amazon, they take care of the building, the security, all the complicated stuff, so you can get to your things whenever you want. And this model, wow, it is an absolute game changer. Why? Well, for starters, it's cost-effective, because you only pay for the storage you're actually using. It's incredibly agile, letting businesses scale up or down in an instant. The scalability is, for all intents and purposes, infinite. And it just completely eliminates the massive headache and expense of managing your own data centers.
All right, so now we know what cloud storage is and why it's just so powerful. Let's look at how it's actually built. Because here's the thing, not all data is created equal. So cloud storage isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. Nope. It's built on 3 fundamental types, and each one is like a specialized tool for a very different job. And here they are, the 3 fundamental building blocks: object, file, and block storage. Getting these 3 is the key to unlocking the real power of the cloud. Let's use an analogy. Object storage, that's like a giant unstructured warehouse for things like photos and videos. File storage, that's more like a neatly organized filing cabinet, with all the folders and hierarchies you're used to. And block storage, well, that's like the raw building materials, the actual bricks and mortar that you can use to build whatever you want.
So how do these building blocks actually work in the real world? Well, let's take a look inside one of the biggest cloud platforms on the entire planet, Microsoft Azure. We'll see how they take object, file, and block storage and use them to power their massive infrastructure.
First up is their version of that massive warehouse we talked about, object storage. And Azure calls their version Azure Blobs. The name, it kind of says it all. Blob actually stands for binary large object, and that's exactly what it's designed to hold.
Yeah, Azure Blobs are all about scale. I mean massive scale. They're designed to handle huge amounts of unstructured data. Things that don't fit neatly into folders, like videos, images, backups, log files. This makes them absolutely perfect for things like streaming media directly to your screen or for building these huge data lakes for big data analytics.
Okay, next up, we've got file storage. And Azure's version is, you guessed it, called Azure Files. This is the one that's probably going to feel a lot more familiar to most of us.
This is that classic, organized filing cabinet we were just talking about. Just think of it like your company's shared network drive, except now it lives in the cloud. It's a total game changer for businesses that want to move their existing applications to the cloud without having to rebuild everything. It's what we call a lift and shift. You literally just pick up your application, move it, and it works just like it did before. Pretty cool.
And finally, we have block storage. In the Azure world, this is handled by something called Azure Managed Disks.
So this is where we get to the raw building materials. Managed disks are, quite literally, the virtual hard drives for the virtual computers, or VMs, that run in Azure. So when you create a virtual server in the cloud, its operating system, its applications, everything, it all lives on one of these super high-performance disks. It's basically the digital equivalent of the hard drive that's sitting in your laptop right now.
So that's a quick look at how Microsoft builds its cloud. But what about their biggest rival, Google? Let's switch gears and take a look at Google Cloud Platform, or GCP. You're going to see the same fundamental ideas here, just with a little Google twist.
When it comes to object storage, Google's main product is simply called Google Cloud Storage. No surprise there. It serves the exact same purpose as Azure Blobs, storing massive amounts of unstructured data in a giant, scalable warehouse.
And this is where you really see the power of building for the cloud from the ground up. I mean, Google Cloud Storage offers some incredible features like unlimited capacity, lightning-fast global access, and amazing durability because your data is automatically copied to multiple locations around the world. And get this, a single file, one object, can be up to 5 terabytes in size. That is the power of cloud-native design.
And for the other two types, well, the naming is just as direct. Google's version of Azure Files is called File Store, and their version of Azure Managed Disks is called Persistent Disk. It's the same core idea, just a different brand name on the box. But here's where Google gets really smart about cost. See, they know that not all data is equally important, so they offer these different storage classes based on how often you need to get to it. If you need data in a flash, what they call hot data, you use standard storage. But if you've got archival data you maybe only touch once a year, you can stick it in cold line or archive storage for just a tiny fraction of the cost. It's all about paying for exactly what you need. It's a brilliant way to save money.
So we've seen the building blocks, and we've seen how the giants use them, but what is it all for? Okay, now for the most important part, the why. Let's look at how these different storage types come together to power the apps and services we all rely on every single day.
The applications are, well, they're truly endless. Cloud storage is the engine that powers our digital world. It's where companies build those massive data lakes to unlock new insights. It's the safety net for our most important data, with backup and disaster recovery. It is the playground for developers building the next big thing. And it's the foundation for the future, powering everything from AI and machine learning to the Internet of Things.
So, we'll end with this thought. The cloud gives us what feels like infinite storage. But the real secret to unlocking its power? It isn't just about having a lot of space. It's about using the right space. It's about choosing the right tool for the job, the right type of storage for your specific data. Because when you get that right, you can build applications that are faster, cheaper, and more resilient than ever before. Thanks for watching.